All right, everybody, welcome to another CryptoK video. Today I'm going to give an update on world mining. Some of the things I want to cover, I'm going to show the new two-factor authentication support that they have added. I'm going to talk about a little bit about how to reinvest using world mining. There's been some questions about that, so I'll cover that. I'll also talk about the world mining software. I actually downloaded, installed it, and tested it, so I'll share my results with that to see if it's worth using or not. And kind of another analysis, is their business model really worth it in this environment with the price of Bitcoin as it is today? So let's jump right into it. So they've added some features. So let's cover those real quick. You can see here in the account settings page, they have added two-factor authentication. I recommend everybody enable that. You can see here I've already enabled it. But if you're not using it, it's always a good idea with all these services to use two-factor authentication. So that's good to see that they've added that. I think they added it in the last month or so. Another question I've been getting is about how to reinvest. And so I'm going to show that real quick. And basically here it is. There's no auto reinvest feature like you have on Hashflare, but they do allow you to reinvest. So you can see here my balance is $166 currently. First you got to choose which server. I like the S2, but S1, S2, you probably get the same results. And then the trick is you can have all the payment options down here. Make sure you use the balance option, which is the very first one. After you've typed in how much you want to use, and it needs to be less than what your balance is, obviously. If you want to pay, you just use your balance, and then pay for it. I'm not going to do that because I'm actually going to withdraw my balance the next time I can. But I do plan on because I've invested $150 of my own money in here, so I want to pull out $150, which I can now. Unfortunately, it's not a Monday or Thursday currently, so I will have to wait until I can actually do it. I still don't understand why they only allow withdrawals on Mondays and Thursdays. Honestly, I've been meaning to withdraw and I keep forgetting about that. So every time I think about it, it's not a Monday or Thursday. They base it on UTC also, so not your local Monday or Thursday. So keep that in mind as well. But yeah, as far as I can tell, the reinvest feature should work just fine. It's just not automatic like it is on Hashflare. So another thing I want to cover today is I did download and test the world mining software. So I'm going to show you, I took some screenshots of my results here. And so I guess the main question is it worth it? So you can see here, I tested out hard CPU mining for a bit. I am using a Core i5 6600K processor, and this is the results I got, around 17 cents a day. And then I'm also using an NVIDIA GTX 1070 graphics card, and this is what I got as results. I ran this several times, and this is I was getting around $1 a day on average. So let me talk about the GPU mining first, actually. So is it worth it? I would say no. I would not use world mining for GPU mining. I can get much better results out of something like NiceHash, which is just as simple to download and set up. I'll get NiceHash. I get with the same GPU, I get anywhere around $3 to $4 a day, and I actually get paid out in Bitcoin instead of dollars. As with everything with world mining, you're not getting paid out in Bitcoin with this mining. They drop this $1 or so US dollars a day amount that you earn into your account balance, not into any kind of Bitcoin balance. So basically the value never changes once it's in there. It's not going to go up or down. It stays at $1 for that. So unless you just really want to increase your balance, you can see my balance over here on the left, just by dollar value, and you're not using that GPU for anything else, and you're not interested in collecting Bitcoin for some reason, then okay, maybe use it in that very specific scenario. But otherwise, to get the most value for your money, and if you're in the boat that thinks Bitcoin will always be going up in general over time, then use something else. NiceHash is what I'd recommend if you want looking for something simple. But there's other solutions out there too that pay more. For CPU mining, since a lot of people don't do CPU mining, if you're not doing anything else with your CPU, then sure, might as well run this and add 17, 20 cents maybe a day to your balance. But me personally, I like mining altcoins like Zoin with my CPU, which I don't get the Zoin's not as valuable now, but I'd rather invest it in coins I think that are going to go up in value. So that's what I put my CPU mining power against. But if you're not doing anything else with your CPU and you have a world mining account, sure, let this run in the background, drop a few extra cents here into your balance. Why not? But if you're invested in multiple different platforms or working with multiple different platforms and multiple streams of income, and you're willing to do that, there's better ways to put it. That processing power, better ways to spend it. So, a couple of things to keep in mind about this world mining software. You can download it off their website, but a couple of things. My antivirus software really did not like this tool, so that kind of makes me nervous. There's other tools out there that also antivirus will not like. And generally it has to do with whether they have the source code available or not. So world mining this is not an open source project. So, antivirus makers aren't able to look at it and see exactly what it's doing, which means you don't know exactly what it's doing. You could just trusting that world mining, all they're doing is mining. But there's some well-known ones out there that also antivirus systems don't like. So that's either positive or negative. It's just something to be concerned about. Basically, I had to disable my antivirus on the folder that this app was installed in to even run it at all. So definitely keep that in mind. The other thing to keep in mind is I had a really hard time actually logging into it the first time. When you run World Mining Miner, it asks you for your login and password for your same account that you use online. It wouldn't accept mine no matter what I did. And it turns out what I had to do was my password was too long. It was around, I think it was 20 characters at the time, and I had to keep shortening it until I can get a password that actually worked. And I think the longest password I was able to use was 16 characters. So keep in mind that it has different password length and complexity requirements. Also turned off, I didn't use, I had to disable symbols. So I had like ats and plus signs and stuff like that in my password. I couldn't use any of those. So it has weaker password requirements. I'm not sure why they do that, but it's just something to keep in mind if you use long, complicated passwords like I do, that you'll have to simplify it in order to use the miner. All right, so that pretty much covers the miner. And then the next thing we want to take a look at is overall my results and what do I think about world mining since I've been using it for about a month now. Basically, we're in environments where Bitcoin is cheap, where it's, I would say below 10,000 would probably be the cutoff. Maybe world mining is worth it at that point. When it's rising, when the price of Bitcoin's rising, I'm not sure it's a good time to actually invest in world mining because you're basically trading your Bitcoin for USD dollar value at that point for mining. And if your Bitcoin goes up in value, then you're losing out on that potential gain. I would think the best, whenever you think based on your analysis that Bitcoin will be going down in value, that might be a good time to actually drop it into world mining to hold on to that value, that dollar value, because it'll keep paying you out in that same dollar value that you drop it in there. But you're betting against Bitcoin at that point. So I've said that in my previous video, and I'll say it again. So what do I plan on doing with world mining? The first thing I want to do is remember to actually withdraw my balance, at least $150 of it. And then, after that, I'll let the balance build back up again. And depending on where Bitcoin is, after it reaches $100 again, will determine whether I reinvest or pull out. I may just let the balance build up again in case Bitcoin crashes. If Bitcoin crashes or starts crashing, I may lock some profits into world mining. But I'll be watching that and I'll report to you guys what I end up doing. You can see here's my account statistics. You can see a little bit about where my revenue is coming from. I'm actually I got a pretty good income coming from just rental of hash services. I've got $39, which is about a third of what I invested in it, a little less than a third. It's just out of rent, what they call, so it's not really hash power. Again, you're getting paid rent for your buying of hash power. They pay you back in dollars, not Bitcoin. And you can see actually most of my income has come from you guys, from signing up under me. So I appreciate that. That helps support this channel and these videos I make. So I appreciate that. There's my results. That's what I'm getting. I will definitely get profit just off of the rental that I do. So there is a profit potential in here, just like Hashflare. And then you also, it's almost a year-long contract, which is great. And then you also have no fees on sites like on Hashflare, when the price of Bitcoin is down, you can spend more. You end up having to spend more than 50% of your income or more, depending on the price, on just paying Hashflare fees. And no matter what happens with world mining, you don't have any fees because you're just getting paid rent for the purchase of hash power. So again, little bit different business model, but interesting nonetheless. And I don't mind having a little money in here. Like I like to be a little diversified. Do your own research. There's links below in the description for world mining, plus some of the other things that I am invested in. I recommend you take a look at those. But if you want to sign up with world mining, please use my link. I'd appreciate it. And then stay safe out there, guys.